Okay, what's going on, everybody? My name is Mangg. Welcome back to Hanging with Mangg, episode 309. I'm sure if you were asked, you could have guessed what I would be playing on Hanging with Mangg this week. Really been digging Final Fantasy 14. And it consumed a very good portion of my week. And to be perfectly frank, if you watch tomorrow's SCP video and you think that the quality is perhaps a little less than normal, this game is the reason. I think the script I put in, you know, it's up to snuff, but maybe the editing I skimped a little. But that's neither here nor there. It's not a bad video. But yeah, I've just been playing the shit out of this. And it was mostly just like a whim, really. I wasn't even necessarily looking for something to play, because I had been playing Detroit Become Human. And then, I don't know, I guess I just saw a comment somewhere saying how good the story of Final Fantasy 14 is and all the expansions and stuff. And I think somebody had mentioned that they had streamlined the main story, so it's a really good time to get in. And I was just like, you know, I did Let's Plays of every Final Fantasy game. What if I did one Final Fantasy 14? And I knew immediately that it was going to be just like this huge list of a huge number of videos. But I Googled, like, how long does it take to beat just the main story of A Realm Reborn? You know, the basic main story. And people were like, oh, about 30 hours. And I was like, okay, that's quite a bit. But if I do hour-long videos, it's only 30 videos. It's not obscene. Compared... And I don't know if that might have been before they streamlined it. So I was like, that's doable. It's not going to be super popular. It's mostly just for my sake, because when I do a Let's Play, I tend to stick with a game longer than normal. I tend to be more focused on the game. I don't know if that would necessarily have mattered much in this case, but I was like, I'm just going to do a Let's Play of it. And now, after having recorded 39 episodes this week, I can say that the Let's Play is going pretty well. Now, I know, like I said multiple times, it's not going to be a popular series of videos. And since I knew that, I decided I'm not going to treat it like a normal LP in any way. I'm not going to dedicate, you know, one of my video releases per day to Final Fantasy 14. So my normal release schedule is not going to be affected whatsoever. I'm just going to release one video of this every day. And if people want to click on it, check it out, that's great. If not, it does not bother me whatsoever. Do not worry that you'll offend me by skipping it. I mean, if it gets to the point where we're on like part 87 and each video I release is only getting like one view, I'll probably just stop uploading, because it's like, what's the point? You know, it's just a waste of my render time, really. But, you know, if we're still getting like 8 views, sure. You know, because like I said, I like doing Let's Plays. But yeah, this is a really good MMO. It's almost not even an MMO, but it is. So much of it is just like a good single player RPG. And yet even more of it is more just like a good audiobook, you know. A lot of it is really just like character dialogue and cutscenes and stuff. You do not need to be good at this game whatsoever to experience the story, which is probably what they want. And now you can sign up for a free trial without paying a dime. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to pay any monthly, nothing. You can play all the way through the first game, the original game, and the first expansion. That's crazy. So check it out. I mean, check out the game. I don't want to shill for it. I'm just saying I've been really enjoying it. And you can try it for free. If you do end up playing, I'm on the Hyperion world. Send me a message. I'm trying to rope some other people into playing. I think Mert might start playing. His buddy might start playing. My brother started playing. He's got like a level 15 character now. He's trying to get his wife to play. Because really, I mean, even if you're not like a hardcore raider or anything, there's so much shit to do in this game. And a lot of it is just sort of like fun and lighthearted and not serious. You know, the housing world, and you can just craft and go to the gold saucer, and there's just a lot to do. Anyways, enough about Final Fantasy 14, I guess. So yeah, this week on this channel, aside from Final Fantasy 14, we have Ghost of Tsushima, which will finish tonight, I think. The final video will be released tonight. And we had a bit of Hellpoint, which I wouldn't call it hell, but I wasn't super impressed. I wasn't super enthused about continuing it. So we dropped Hellpoint and we started Mortal Shell, which so far I am much more impressed with. And I do think it's pretty cool, and I'm very eager to keep going with that. So we went from Souls-like to Souls-like. So Mortal Shell will be continuing on. For some time. And Ghost of Tsushima will finish tonight, which means that I'll be starting uploading Dragon Quest IV on the 3DS. I believe this is the system. Which is not a super long Let's Play, but it's an RPG. You know. And so that's leading up to the release of Avengers, which the beta, there's a beta going on right now. I did not touch it. I could have played it, but even if I wasn't into Final Fantasy right now, I wouldn't have played it. I want to go into that game fresh. And hopefully it's good. That's all I can say. So that's the schedule. So I'll be able to play Avengers on the 1st of September. God, that's coming up quick, isn't it? That is coming up quick. Now I'm not so sure. Now that I actually looked at the date. I could just do Mortal Shell every day until Avengers comes out. I guess I could do that. People would probably prefer that. I assume most people are not enthused about my Let's Play of Dragon Quest IV. Nothing against that game, but typically my Let's Plays of old school RPGs are not too popular. So, yeah, I guess I could just do Mortal Shell every day for a week. And then we'd bounce between Mortal Shell and Avengers, and that'll finish off Mortal Shell pretty quickly, I assume, and then I can move into Dragon Quest. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. I'll do that. Look at that, I changed my mind like that, baby. Over on the Exploring series, I released a video, another DJ Cactus episode. Not episode. Another DJ Cactus SCP about a father, a member of the O5 Council, losing his son and sort of refusing to accept it. And the lengths that he went to sort of change things. It's an interesting SCP. I wouldn't count it among my favorite of DJ Cactus's work. It's a very personal one for him. I think he wrote it like right after his grandma died. And I think there's just sort of a lot of like vague imagery and emotions involved there that are highly relevant to him, but I wasn't sure how well they translate in a video summary of it. But people seem to like it. It did all right. This week I worked on a video on another SCP-001 proposal, 0513. Gotta fucking kill this thing. And basically about an O5 member that is unlike the rest of them and is accused of murdering the previous 12. And so the new 12 come in and they're like, what the fuck's up with this guy? And so it's a bit of a mystery as you sort of unravel what's going on with this guy. It's not a super long SCP. It's sort of a weird SCP-001 because it's not like an epic big deal. It doesn't determine like the origin of the Foundation or the origin of anomalies or anything like that. Why did he do that? It's just an SCP. It just happens to be sort of about an O5 member. And it's something that they would conceal, so it doesn't really make sense. It's just a main list SCP. I think people will probably like it. Yeah, that's how the Exploring series goes. Having a very good month, of course, even better than last month. Certainly, this month has been the best month ever had on YouTube, and I've said that multiple times in like the last year. It's really nuts. Very exciting. And I'm sure the SCP well will dry up at some point, or the YouTube well will dry up at some point, but for now it's great. And best of all, I do really just like SCP. I always have ever since I first discovered it. And so it's just really awesome that I get to do something like that. Make videos about it. And I don't like... It's super successful and I like it, so it's not like, oh, I gotta make another SCP video. I generally like every topic that I cover. But I choose which topics I cover. So there is stuff that people would probably want me to cover that I don't want to. But hey, I get to avoid that shit. So that's all good. Having a bit of trouble though with my brother. He and his wife have their own YouTube channel, and his wife, my sister-in-law, has her own YouTube channel as well. And they want to be YouTube's successes, because they see how successful I am. And I tell them it's a great job. It is a great job. I won't deny that. But it's also not something anyone can do. It's very rare. Like, absurdly rare. I tell them, you're honestly better off buying scratch-off lottery tickets. I feel like you'd have better odds. Or maybe you wouldn't have better odds, but it would save you a hell of a lot of time, stress, and effort. But, you can't really convince people, to not go for it. And I'm not saying don't go for it. Just accept at the start that you will never be a YouTube success. Just accept that in your heart. And then if you do end up being a success, it's like, holy shit, this is crazy. This is wild. That's how it should be. I don't believe, and I could be wrong, I don't believe it's a career where you can just sit there and be determined and work your ass off and work hard and be a success. It's not guaranteed like that. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe some people have just done it that way and put their nose to the grindstone and become YouTube successes. But I think most of the time it's just sort of a fluke. In some ways. I mean, it takes a certain type of person. I mean, I've accepted at this point, even though I still don't think my videos are great, that I have a knack for it, and that people do like watching my videos. It's wild, I know. But if anyone could do what I do with SCP, there would be many other SCP channels that make, summaries. I still don't know why there isn't. It's crazy. Because it doesn't seem that difficult to me, but there must be something to it. So it's not something anyone can do. It's not for everyone. And I'm not trying to discourage them and say, hey, you guys are shit. Don't make videos. It'll never happen. I'm just trying to help them avoid, some, depression and anger and sadness when it doesn't work out, because chances are it's not going to work out. But they see just me. I grew up with my brother, and suddenly I'm just this YouTube success story, and he thinks that anyone can do it. And it is amazing because it is something that anyone can do. Anyone can make videos. And that's what's awesome about it. That's what's awesome about YouTube, is that anyone can put out videos. But being a YouTube success, not everyone can do. And that's sort of the disconnect. So I don't know. It's tough. I don't want to be discouraging, but I also I don't want to I don't want them to just be depressed and sad when it doesn't work out. Promote this channel more. It's good content. Well, there I have to disagree with you. Nothing on this channel is good content. Get out of here. No, I mean, I've had people stick with this channel for a long time, which is awesome. I'm very, very glad to have people that watch this. Because I've been doing this for 9 years on this channel, and if my videos were still getting 0 views, I don't think I would have gone this far. Which would be a bummer, because I really do enjoy making Let's Plays. I really enjoy gaming and talking about it and stuff like that. So the few people that do watch this channel are what give me the motivation to continue to do it and continue to upload it. But yeah, having more viewers on here, it doesn't... I'd be worried about having more, like, scrutinizing eyeballs on my content. And it's like, I'm never going to monetize this channel. It's, you know, I already have a successful channel. You know, I think one is enough. So if more people come to this channel, awesome. But promote it, yeah. I don't really care for that, especially because I never promoted the Exploring series ever. I put the link to this channel in every description of every Exploring video. That's about all I'm willing to do. And I think I've had a slow trickle of people in over the last few years. And so that's sort of my dual perspective with these two channels, is that I have the successful channel. It's my job, you know, it's my career. And I make videos that I enjoy, but I make them because it pays the bills. I mean, I'll be, like I've said before, if I became a billionaire, I would not make Exploring videos. That's just the way of it. Because it does involve a lot of work. But then I have this channel that I make purely for fun, just for a handful of viewers, and I make it just because I enjoy it, with no idea of ever monetizing or ever them becoming, you know, big hits. And so I know what it's like to make videos for money and because it's a job, and I know how to make videos just because I enjoy it, and that's it. And so I try to explain these things to them, but it's tough. Hector. Longtime follower since the merry old days of Game Anyone. Skyrim playthrough, the fate of Oscar the Horse. That's right. Oscar the Horse, Mayor McChicken, Mayor Chicken, and Carl. Those were good times. Cheers from Spain. Thank you, Hector. That's a long time viewer there. 9 years ago. Yes, I did a playthrough of Skyrim. I played it early, and of course on YouTube, you could not release any early videos of Skyrim. They shut that shit down immediately. But at the time, I was part of this Let's Play website, or this gaming video website called GameAnyone.com. And since they hosted their own videos, so I posted the Skyrim stuff there, and it just got flooded with views, because that was like the only place you could see a Skyrim playthrough, like in the wild. And there were even like news articles written about it and stuff. That was my 15 minutes of fame before I actually had, like, you know, my current like 2 hours of fame. So yeah, that's how I ended up getting a lot of people, actually, that still stick around and watch. Because of that nice Skyrim. Before the Skyrim Let's Play, I had like 1 viewer. And after that, I became a bit of a darling of Game Anyone. I won like an award for that playthrough, and I was a pretty big top dog after that. But I left Game Anyone just because there really wasn't much there for me. There was almost no growth. I mean, having a separate site for videos that's not YouTube, it's just it's not really viable. You know, there's no algorithms or anything like that. And at the time, I was interested in getting a lot of viewers and making like other types of videos that Game Anyone didn't really like support, you know, like board game stuff and movie stuff. And so I figured I'm just going to focus on YouTube. So I left. Some people were very angry about me leaving. It was a betrayal. And I didn't do it. It wasn't like an easy decision for me because I did like Game Anyone. Although the administrator of the site kind of screwed me on the whole Skyrim thing with like, there was a monetization thing where you could earn money on Game Anyone based on views. And so when the Skyrim thing came out, I immediately like applied for that. So because, you know, I was getting, those videos were getting hundreds of thousands of views. I was like, I broke the website basically. And I know that he was making money hand over fist because of my shit. But he like purposefully delayed my monetization application until like the whole Skyrim thing died down. So I didn't make a penny off of it. But whatever, you know, that's small potatoes. I'm actually intending to do Skyrim again, but like a very modded playthrough of Skyrim with like one of the more difficult mods, you know, systems involved. I'd like to actually do a proper playthrough of that. I don't know if it would be a full Let's Play or just something on my variety stream, but at some point we'll get back to that. Speaking of which, I did do a variety stream on Wednesday of Factorio. Didn't last long. Factorio proved to be far beyond my understanding. So we only gave it like an hour and a half or so. And then I played a little bit of Overwatch, but I had a lot of technical difficulties. So that was just sort of the end of it. That being said, I'm going to still continue the variety stream. There's a lot of games out there, a lot of indie games that I need to give proper looks at from week to week. Yeah, I suppose that's about it. On Monday, a few of us got together to play some Overwatch, but it wasn't for very long, and it was only a handful of us. So I don't know what's going on with that. Mondays are sort of falling apart. Dave the Usher, Scorch. Yeah, right after I left Game Anyone, Dave the Usher and Scorch actually contacted me. Like, sort of applauding my decision to leave Game Anyone, because they were not big fans of it. and they like invited me to hang out with him on Skype. I did that a couple times. I'm not really good. Like, I didn't know them, and it was sort of a weird thing where it's just like them like watching shows and just like chatting. It's like, I don't really know you guys, you know. So I only did it a couple times, and it was kind of awkward. And I was still like a pretty small channel, even compared to them. But Dave the Usher, I was a huge fan of. So that it was really cool just talking with him. I've told this story before, but Dave the Usher is the reason that I got into making videos. I actually started, viewership-wise, I started with speedruns. As I had just like a random thought one day of like, do people upload footage of video games online? This was a long time ago, mind you. And sure enough, people did. But it didn't lead me to Let's Plays. It led me to speedruns at first. And I got really into speedruns. I loved watching speedruns. Like, the first time I saw a Super Metroid speedrun, it literally blew my fucking mind apart. So I got really into speedruns. But after, like... And I watched some speedruns of, like, RPGs. Which are long. But it's like, you know, they're speeding through it. They're running from a lot of stuff. You know, they're not... You know, it's not really like a playthrough of it. And I was like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if someone just played through it and I could just sort of, like, experience it vicariously. And that led me to Game Anyone. And one of the biggest RPG Let's Players on Game Anyone was Dave the Usher. And I watched all his shit. Like, all his long RPG shit. I loved it. Great personality, very funny guy. And then after some months of watching his stuff, I was like, you know what? I think I could do this. And so that led to my first Let's Play, Mickey Mouse, Magical Quest, and the rest is history. So you can thank Dave the Usher for me being on YouTube. And I can thank him for my career, I suppose. Yeah, because I dreamed of being as big of a star as Dave the Usher. He was like this god of videos. Which is pretty funny now to think about, but... Yeah. So I'm trying to get a bunch of people to play this game. I think Mert and his buddy are going to play. Maybe Studs is going to play. So, you know, if we can get a regular group together going to Final Fantasy 14, that would be awesome. But I think perhaps tomorrow we're going to do Cosmic Encounter, maybe. Not really clear. But yeah, Mondays are falling apart because I adhere to this quarantine. All right, I guess I can leave it off there then. We talked for a while. We had some good chats. Not a whole lot for me to say. I spent most of my week just playing this, so there's not a whole lot for me to say. So check out final video, Ghost of Tsushima. Plenty of Mortal Shell coming this week. Should be pretty wild. Variety stream on Wednesday. I don't even know what I'm going to be playing yet, but I will pick out some cool game. I should keep in touch with Dave. Podcast special. Yeah, I'm such an introvert. If he reached out to me, of course, in a heartbeat, I'd have a chat with him. But I don't know. I don't know. Too introverted to reach out to him. That's why I don't do any collaborations with any other SCP YouTubers. It's because I don't contact any of them. You never know, I guess. On the Exploring series, we have SCP-001-0513. And that's that. That's pretty much it. Alrighty then. Thanks for joining me, guys. My name is Mangg. This has been Hanging with Mangg. I'll see you fine folks next week.